Welcome to our new prototype project that has all the content you'll need for a big variety of genres. In the future, if you're watching this video in semesters or years to come, I very likely will have added more different genres and features to this content, so look for update videos. If you're seeing this one, there's probably an update video. I'll see if I can update it in the comments below. But this is our 1.0 version with the first endeavor at creating these prototype packages. If you don't know how to get this project open, refer to previous tutorial videos. I'm not going to go over the basics of Unity in this series, or you can ask me in person if you see me there. So we're in Unity here, and I have this first scene opened up, but what I want us to pay the most attention to start is this information down at the bottom here, where we actually can see the content that's in our project. I'm just going to zoom into the folder structure a little bit more here. I'm not sure I can on the left, but you'll have to do your best to see on your screens. On the left, we see kind of a summary of all the folders in this project that we can expand and close up. So I have the #1 shooter open right now, but I can kind of close that down. And this is where I can see kind of a big picture, quick reference view of everything. And on the right is where I see the zoomed in contents of the folder I have selected. So under the main assets folder, I see that there's these 8 different folders and these kind of extra terrains kind of sitting around here. Maybe I'll clean this up before I send it to all of you. A couple things to tidy up here. But each of these folders contains content for a different genre of game up until the Text Mesh Pro, which just contains some package content for our user interface. So you can ignore this. Do notice that the last two, this open world, it doesn't show the full name here, but it actually says, if I scroll over here, in development. The open world content, I ran out of time to actually get this one built. I left in a few of the basic features I started with in case you're curious to explore them, but it's definitely not complete. So we won't be focusing on this in this series. And the future development backup involves a bunch of files that I have presented here that I think that could be useful by you or by me in the future. Didn't want to remove them for now, but they're not actually a fully curated tutorial thing. So if you're feeling like you want more guidance, ignore these 2 folders. We're going to focus on the first 5 here. The first one being a shooter genre type game. The second one being a puzzle style game. The third being a storytelling style game. The fourth being a split screen competitive style game. And the fifth being a platformer type game. This one's actually based off of an old tutorial series by me, which I'll be referencing you to in the notes if you're in my class, or you can just look for Fall Guys 2.0 in my YouTube channel if you want information on how to reference this content. But here we go. We have 5 different games. All 5 folders should follow a very common pattern of content where we have folders for all the specific content for this project. This one has images, materials, prefab, scenes, scripts, shared assets, sounds, and textures. If I head back to my assets, you'll see the puzzles includes many of the same folders. Not all of the same ones because some projects need different types of content than others, but this here for the puzzle type game includes all the content. Here's the images for the puzzle, the materials for the puzzle, the prefabs for the puzzle, and so on. You shouldn't need to go into the shooter folder to get anything for the puzzle. You shouldn't need to go into the platformer to get anything for the story. They're independent things. However, I've built these resources to, in large part, it won't work for every single thing, but in large part, to have transferable content. So let's say you're working in the shooter and you have some script or maybe a prefab that you actually think would work really well in a split screen competitive game. Well, you can actually move the content from the shooter into the split screen game and then put it in your scenes and work with it if you want to try to merge genres together. It's a bit more advanced and you're probably going to get some errors popping up, but it's certainly worth considering if you want to push yourself. But to begin with, your task is going to be to choose one genre to focus on for the remainder of this unit. So what do you need to do first? Well, test them out. Head into each different folder. So I'm going to go into the shooter one for now. Head to the scenes, and you should find a test level that you can pop open. And this is the one for the shooter here that you can then run. I'm going to actually set my game to maximize on play. Head back to my scene and hit play. And there is sound in this. I'm going to turn it down actually. Let me head to my OBS, desktop audio, just so it doesn't blast your ears too much. But you'll see here that I have some glitchiness in the hitboxes right there, but these should be shootable. I think it has to do with my frame rate right now. Some targets that are shootable, some things that are interactable, and a little enemy that has disappeared. I think he fell through the world because of the glitchiness of my frame rate right now. But you can test it out for yourself and explore the content of that level and get a sense for what are some of the features that you might like. I can head over to the puzzle game, head to my scenes, my puzzle demo. In here, doesn't look like there's much going on, but if you play it, you'll get a sense for things. And I'm going to explain more about how these work to you in the different tutorials, but you'll see, press F to pick up cube. And if I press tab in this game, there's an inventory that I can click and drag an object back into the world. So I can actually pick things up and move them and drop them on top of other things and then make changes to the world itself. So here, I need a sphere. Okay, so I've set up some basic content here for you to interact with, for you to play test and see if this is the building blocks of an experience you might want to try. You have the story, split screen, and platformer to try as well. What I would do, first off, dive into each one, test it, get a feel for how it works, and then make a decision about which game you want to work on or which genre you want to work on, and then head to the tutorials in the playlist for that specific genre. Each genre, I'll have 2 to 3 videos overviewing how they work, how you can use the tools I've built, and some extension ideas for the things that you can kind of build on top of to make this experience more of your own. So, next up, playtest and decide on a genre, and then head to the specific videos for that one to learn more about how to work with that particular type of game. Enjoy. Talk to you soon.